What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 12. All the way, look, we already got 12 of these episodes of the best pro wrestling and sports entertainment show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, SERG VICENTE, and joining me, as always, is my lovely sister from another mister, the co-hostess with the mostest. We are talking about Miss Dre Day. Dre, what is going on?
In the building. How's going on? What's going on, Serge? How are you?
Good. I am good. I'm good. Glad to be back here doing this because you know what I'm saying we had a little week hiatus, but we are back at it.
We back.
Doing what we do best. And man, what a day! What a time to come back to it because it is nuts in the world of professional wrestling there, especially in the land of sports entertainment. So before we even get into that, on today's menu, we're gonna go ahead and break down and really discuss what's going on between, you know, Sasha and Naomi. Is Boss Glow no mo? We're gonna talk about that. We'll also go ahead and cover what is going on with the tribal chief Roman Reigns. We'll talk about that. A little Owen Hart invitational talk and so much more. But I'd be remiss if we didn't start with this because Ms. Dre Day, this is something that I think this is the talk of the town, the talk of Twitter, the talk of, you know, pro wrestling world as a whole. We're seeing people from multiple organizations, people within the WWE. Everybody has a thought on it. But if you do not know, where have you been? Sasha Banks, the legendary Sasha Banks. What is that? I'm hearing myself now. What we got?
That was me. That was on me.
Okay,
it's
all good. It's all good.
But
the legendary Sasha Banks and Naomi, the women's tag team champions, walked out of WWE Raw last night. It seems like it was creative differences, as a couple of people might say. So it is people, the rumor mill's going back and forth during WWE Raw. Even myself, I hit you up. I'm like, yeah, is this a work? What is going on? It felt like a work at times, but as the night went on and we started watching more and more, we came to find out that it wasn't a work. And it was really what we thought it was. And Sasha Banks, the boss, and Glow and Naomi, they literally dropped their belts off at the front door and dipped. Dre, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? Because at the end of the day, this is, I don't want to say it's unprecedented because it has happened before, and we'll talk about some of those instances in the future and, you know, a little bit later on the show. But just initial thoughts. What do you think about this?
You know, my initial thoughts are that, you know, like you said, I was, you know, I'm always very hesitant to like buy into certain things because it is pro wrestling, right? It's professional wrestling. We get worked all day long. It is their job to work us.
All day, every day.
It is every wrestler's and every wrestling promotion's job to work us, right? And so my first thought was right away, as soon as it was, you know, I was watching Raw, kind of half watching it, I'm not gonna lie, but I was watching it and like I heard
it's a 3-hour show. I mean,
it's a 3-hour show. You gotta do, you know, you gotta multitask. You know what I mean? I'm an adult, I got stuff to do. You know, and immediately my first thought is work. Like my immediate thought is work, you know, oh, this would be a really fly way to turn Sasha and Naomi heel. If we got to turn them heel, you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, cool. And then obviously as the show went on, it was kind of like, I mean, is it a work? Especially, you know, Corey Graves rubs a lot of people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? On commentary.
And Corey Graves has been speaking bad on it. And I know he's playing the quote unquote heel. And I know the announcer is part of the show. But if you look at Black Twitter and you look at the Twitter sphere out there, he is coming off a real racist again, especially with Black women specifically. So, like, I mean, he is on some stuff right now. Just saying.
And like, let's be clear, like, you know, I'm never gonna fully put it on Corey Graves, the person. That man is doing a job, right? And he said what he is, you know, essentially told to say a lot of the times. But like it gets real murky,
nasty
when it's always when there just seems like be that extra tinge, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to Black women.
Extra sprinkle.
WrestleMania during Bianca's entrance this year specifically was the one for me. Everything else before that, usually I'm just like, I don't buy into it too heavy, but like
Right.
what the hell is this during Bianca's entrance, and she hadn't even come out yet, and it was very clearly a marching band entrance. And even if you are not familiar with historical Black college HBCU culture and our marching bands, you at least knew
Doesn't
that it
look
was a marching
good.
band on the stage. Like, stop this. And no one was saying anything on commentary during that entrance except him. And
Yep.
so that was the
And
point
let's
for
keep it a
me
bean.
when it turned around. I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
Right.
what are we doing? Are you being like, were you told to say that? Or were you
Right.
told to say something? And then
And that's what
and the
came
that
out.
you chose, the something you chose was that. Anyway, bringing it back to the one,
Yeah. Yeah. And real quick, let's not act like he doesn't know what a marching band is. He's from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a huge football town. They know what a marching band is. So let's just leave that
that
there.
part.
I'm just saying.
Just put it there and leave it there and hello.
Leave it
And just
there.
it was just sour taste in a lot of our mouths. You know what I mean? A lot of
Absolutely.
black people and black
1000%.
wrestling fans who watched that and knew exactly what it was and knew who it was for. That left
It
a bad
felt
taste in our
nasty.
mouth. It felt icky. You know what I mean?
Real nasty.
And then just to add the whole unprofessional and whatever these terms. So whatever's
And he
going on
might
with
have been
Sasha and Naomi,
regurgitating. I'm sure he was
I am
regurgitating some Vince.
99.9% sure
Exactly.
that was in his ear to say.
Right.
So I'm not
Right. But
blaming him for that, but
he has a pattern.
just the patterns are patterning, and it's a lot going on with that. So back to the whole thing though, like, let's just say, thank you, sis. My sister ain't never really rocked with Mr. Graves like
I
that.
understand. Now,
you
granted,
know,
I enjoy some of his podcast episodes. I was literally
yeah,
just
great
telling you about the
podcast.
one that he had with the Usos. I thought it was
Yeah.
just chef's kiss. It was a
Great
fantastic episode.
podcast. I enjoyed him as a wrestler in NXT. I had the pleasure of being down there towards the end of that before he had to leave for injury and medical reasons and stuff. But and I had
Right.
nothing but positive interactions, the very few I had with him. So I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not talking about him, the person.
No,
I'm just
no,
saying that adds layers to this. And
absolutely.
my issue with the whole thing is this. If this is real,
Right.
because I'm always, again, professional wrestling, I will always leave a side
And
of
look,
me
I hope it's a
to
work.
I like hope to
I
goodness it's a work
hope it's a work. Deep
if it's
down in
not
my depths, I want it to be a work.
because if
Because
it's not, do
yeah,
you know how icky this is? Like, it is
it's
so
bad.
nasty. Like, the vitriol that is being
Yeah.
spewed to these two women, these beautiful
Oof.
black women, these super talented black women right now, because
Mhm.
of the statement that WWE put out
And that
and
was a yep.
the way it was presented. If this was real,
Mhm.
that statement that they put out had no business being put out. It was very Tony Khan, Big Swolish. It was very that.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you can't be a multi-billion-dollar company, put a statement out like that, and not be aware of what's going to come to those women on the
Absolutely.
back end. You can't.
Yeah. Well, and here's
And
my
like,
thing
that's my
too.
issue with it right now. You're putting them on the fire you're
Mhm.
literally telling the racists to go ahead and have fun.
And here's the thing.
You know what I
And my
mean?
big, you're right. And one of my big issues that I've had is that especially the connotation of being unprofessional, especially you bring it out there speaking specifically about black women, right? And then you're going out there and doing that when Brock Lesnar literally chucked a belt at Vince.
On
You
camera.
have you have the whole brouhaha with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair going out there doing their shenanigans in the middle of the
On
ring
camera in front of a
on
live
camera.
audience.
Exactly. You got Charlotte damn near getting to a legitimate fist fight. Nobody's saying anything about these people being unprofessional. But again, all of a sudden we see who it is. We understand, and then again, I still, whatever. I get a little conspiracy theory. I start looking into it, and I'm just like, yo, I see what happened to Big E, the shitty run that you gave him. I look at the shitty run you gave Kofi after the fantastic Kofi Mania. I look at and here's the thing. I obviously
The
everybody here knows,
lackluster
and
title
you
runs of
watch.
Bobby Lashley.
Well, and again, what I talk about
But
lackluster title runs, you guys know exactly how I feel. Like I say, I always talk about Bianca Belair, but let's not mix any words. Sasha Banks is the GOAT. Okay, I'm not mixing any words. And here's the thing: has there once in the history of Sasha Banks's career have they ever given her a sustained push as they have a Charlotte Flair? Have they ever given her a sustained push as they have almost anybody
they've been
who's had
forced.
that belt?
They've
Is
only
it
been forced to. It's almost like it's like they begrudgingly do it because she's
absolutely, which
so
makes no
popular,
sense.
which makes absolutely no sense. And you know what I'm saying? And that's the part that drives me crazy. And I do want to bring this in, and you know, we're usually a very fun show. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this
absolutely. But this
this
ain't fun. I'm not
this
happy about
isn't
this.
fun. This isn't fun. This is real
No,
icky
no.
and it's
Feels
personal. You
nasty.
know, and
Yes,
it's personal, right? A lot of the discourse and stuff that's going on is why, you know, you're not, why are people making this about race and et cetera, et cetera. I will explain. Let me attempt to make that explanation.
please do.
It's a multiple thing. It's not just race, but it's also gender. You know, allegedly Naomi and Sasha were presented with creative that they didn't like. They requested a meeting and pitched an alternative, right?
Right.
And that alternative wasn't agreed upon, and that's when they decided to leave. So here's the thing with that: when you've been in the business for as long as both of those women have, number one, when
Absolutely. Yes.
Naomi has been in WWE for a decade-ish, if
Right.
something around that. Sasha is Sasha the GOAT, and these two women have
The GOAT.
been really good professional hands for this long. And what makes me angry is that the people who are all saying that they were being unprofessional and et cetera, you're like erasing all of that goodwill that these two women have given you, you
How
know, as
often
talent.
has Sasha Banks waved the Vince McMahon is the man flag?
She
She is
tweeted
the
thank you, Vince,
number
for like a
one
year.
all the time. Thank you, Vince McMahon. And then I think about certain things is that when she went out there and was doing the Mandalorian, they didn't pat her on the back and parade her around like they do everybody else. They didn't do that. And we're talking about honestly, and there's so many comparisons. Like she is the female Rock, right? If we think about it, that somebody who really hasn't had the sustained, honestly, title runs that they should have had when they were in the WWE, but they're overwhelmingly the most over character in the history of the company. That is exactly who you're getting. She is the exact same person in that regard. I'm
And
sorry,
we
go ahead.
have to, we have to bring Naomi back into this, because how
Have
many
to.
times has Naomi broken the internet and made media that has nothing to do about wrestling by just being her big old beautiful black self, like big hair and
Absolutely.
glowy and just being
Absolutely.
herself. When she came back for the Royal Rumble a few years ago, that should have been capitalized on, and it wasn't,
It wasn't.
because the upper management had other people they wanted to push ahead of her. And like, and we've never heard her complain about it.
Dog, never. She is.
Never.
I mean, we always talk about people in sports and stuff like that, in combat sports, being company men and company women, right? They have been the epitome of company. They're just going out
Absolutely.
there. Naomi's been on silly ass TV shows. She had to go through a whole 6 months of dealing with a racist ass storyline. You had all kinds of just absolute nonsense that both of them have to deal with. And then again, they're talking about, the hypotheticals. And again, everything is allegedly at this point in time. We don't
Right.
fucking
We're
know.
still alleging,
We're
but
we're,
let's
we're
just
still
we're
alleging
opera right.
right. Yeah, but we are going off of it at this point in time as if as if it's a shoot, not a work, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna say this one more time. Oh, please be a work. Oh my God, please be a work. I
Like
do
we're
not want
hoping it
this.
is.
We're hoping it is.
Or it
But
turns into one. You know, the lovely work
yo, yeah.
shoot, she
Like, don't
works.
get it twisted.
Whatever.
If you give me in a month, all of a sudden Naomi come out with some glowing red shit, and she is a full part of the bloodline, you sign me the fuck up. We already know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then you give me, he heel Sasha again. Yes, let's do it. I'm
Let's
here, right? Let's have her be like the essentially Stone Cold, the women's Stone Cold now. Oh, let's go.
The
Let's go.
spin
But
though, the spin is killing me because like essentially
oh,
they're
it's a
they're
spin.
spinning this as if Sasha and Naomi were the unprofessional ones. Yet this as a company, they put out a statement. A First of all, saying that WWE Raw is a scripted
Hey,
television
really
show.
quick, do you have that statement? Do you want to read that out real quick? Please, if you yes,
I
yes, I
do.
appreciate you. Yes, please read that out for us, for the people, because it's so
Serge
interesting that
ain't
they
the only
say
one with
this.
notes, you know.
And we came with notes today. I was ready because there was stuff I had to look at who else did stuff like this in the past. I mean, and again, we do look at somebody like this, and the sad thing is, and again,
Right.
I really think about it because at the end of the day, I'm not worried for Sasha. Sasha's gonna be okay. She don't even
Mhm.
need wrestling at this point in time. She's the GOAT for a reason. You know what I'm saying? She's done it all. Done it all.
Yeah, done at all.
I'm worried about Naomi though. And that's the one I look at with this. And it's one of those things that I look at and I'm like, damn, like I hope they don't next thing I see in the next 6 months, she's running around with the 24/7 title, chasing those people around. And we
I'm
know
not
we can
worried.
see it happening.
Let me be clear. And we could talk about hypotheticals on
We
like
know
both
why. We know
sides,
why we
right?
ain't worried about her.
Well, that's one, but that I'm not worried for
We ain't
Naomi
going.
because she gets media attention that is
Yes.
not wrestling related.
Yes. You're right.
She'll have all of the endorsements, beauty wise and hair wise and women's health and fitness and et cetera, et
Speaking
cetera.
of that, you
Like
hear Bianca Belair just got a Fenty deal?
that part. And I will also talk about how I
Generational
feel like
talent.
this connects, and this is a company problem because you don't think Bianca's watching this and going, well, if they do it to them,
If they do it to the GOAT, what are they going to do to me?
I just got here, I'm new here
And it's not, dude, Sasha Banks isn't even 35 years old.
at all.
She's not even technically in the prime of her wrestling career.
Not even close.
And you guys are just miss. Okay, so let's say this. And I'm going to ask you this because like
Yes,
I have been emotional. Yeah, I've been reading books on
we are
against the
emotional right now.
patriarchy. Like it's been crazy. I was legitimately reading the book against the patriarchy today. And I was like, this is terrible. White supremacy and the patriarchy, it all gotta go. And then
Flip
this
tables.
happened too, flipping tables. This is crazy. Patriarchy Blues by Fred Joseph, though. It's actually like a couple chapters in. It's pretty damn good.
Come on, book list.
You know what I'm saying? The Royal Rundown book list.
There we go.
But it's one of the things that, it is sad. But let me ask you this. And I saw somebody in the comments say this, and this was a good point. Let's say this is a work. We know what it is. How is the company going to try and spin this? I think we already have an idea of what they're trying to do, but what do you think? How do you think? What comes of this? Because I'm going to ask you this first, and then we're going to go into each of these ladies and kind of see what this means for each. And then, guys, we have a whole lot more to hopefully talk about, but this is the most important news by far.
Right. Again, we're over here still like holding on with like our little pinky toes that this might be a work, right? And if it is, it's a genius way to turn them heel. Like, let's just start there.
Oh my God.
It's genius, right? Why not?
This is
Why
awful.
not?
Yes. Salty old man. The saltiest of old men. Him and
You
Dana
know,
White, just both of them old salty white men.
Like I feel like that would be really, really fly. My problem with it is that they need to have some face tag teams to go against if they're gonna turn them heel in this way.
Well, okay, well, let's talk about this too really quick because people, and I'm hearing different things, but obviously they're talking about both of them are essentially fed up with playing second fiddle. Yeah, the disrespect. Their job is to consistently just get people over, and you guys are promising us something. Literally, they promised them big feuds going into WrestleMania. They didn't get that, so they gave them the tag team titles that didn't nobody really want, especially the women's. Nobody was really paying attention to them. They gave them lemons. They went out there. Yeah, they went out there. They made lemonade. All of a sudden, Boss and Glow is everywhere. They're selling merch. People are loving everything that's happening right now. They got like they have brought life back to that women's tag team division. And then you're just going to literally send one to SmackDown, keep one at Raw, and then like have them both lose just to make the current champions look better.
I'm gonna
Come
say it.
on, man. They're not they're not just Sasha Banks is the
I'm gonna
GOAT.
say it.
She is not a step over, just random. I'm sorry, she's not like
Serge,
Kevin
let me say it.
Owens. She's not these
Serge,
other
let me
dudes.
say
I'm
it.
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I
I'm
you're
sorry. I'm sorry.
you speaking facts, but let me say it. The reason why they wanted to go ahead and have our lovely tag team champions, they wanted to have our tag team champions put over the two champions. I think more. Let's be clear. Bianca versus Naomi would be fly as hell, and nobody's gonna be mad about watching that. Like
No,
that
no.
would have been an amazing feud if there was a reason for them to feud. That's just number one.
Thank
But
you.
number two, Sasha versus Ronda is only just to make Ronda look good.
That's
And
it.
the
And
reason,
we understand that.
and these two women are so good at what they do. They make everyone they wrestle look good. The alternative, what they pitched an alternative was instead of having them, try to fight each other in this 6-pack challenge they were trying to book, they tried to get Nikki Ash and Doudrop to become a tag team again and actually have them fight for the tag chat. Like that's a tag feud. And then you get Asuka and Becky involved with Bianca's situation. Their pitch
No.
got more women involved. And
Right.
is that not a problem that we have all over in every company, is getting more women and multiple women feuds at the same time? Like they solved the problem, which is not a hard problem to solve. They
Especially when you have that
solved
much
it,
talent.
especially when you have that much talent.
Especially when you have that much talent.
And it was just, and it was shut down, and that is like a fundamental, what we said earlier, and I think it was Joel or someone who said it's a company problem. That is a
Yep.
company mentality problem. When you've got wrestlers booking your wrestling show better than you.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what's messed up? Think about this. Remember with Becky Lynch about two weeks ago was out there talking about the women in WWE. We so cool, it's all great on this side, and she was shitting on them over there. Well, maybe it is for you.
For
Obviously, it's not
you.
like that for the GOAT and everybody else. So it's interesting seeing how those comments all of a sudden, if you really think about it in totality, because at the end of the day, they said that this has been brewing for a long time. And look, I'm gonna say it again. I hope this is a work.
We're
I
praying at this
hope
point.
that this is a work,
Somebody say a
because
seance, something.
you know what I'm saying. Alhamdulillah, whatever you want to say. Like, I'm here for it all. Like, pray to whoever you pray to. I don't care. Like, let's hope this is a work, because at the end of the day, man, this is bad, because obviously it continues setting a terrible precedent. But I will say this, and I know you're gonna agree with me on this one. Somewhere in that old wrinkly body and heart of the Vince McMahon, that he respects them this much more today.
He has to.
He does. The fact that they said, yo, and because he literally, with the thing, it was very reminiscent of when he jumped his old ass in the ring and tried to say, call Stone Cold Steve Austin, oh, he took his ball and went
All that went
home.
home.
He
Yeah.
tried to say that. It's a very similar thing to have Corey Graves go out there and look. Like I said about Corey, I killed Corey on Twitter. I understand it's your job. I'm sure it was Vince in his ear saying it, but brother, you have a track record at this point in time, and at this point in time, you are looking like the ops right now, homie.
Real funny
And
in the light.
you know what I'm saying, and I am not feeling what I am seeing at this present moment in time. So there is that. So let's transition here.
Okay.
Sasha Banks, the GOAT.
Yes.
The GOAT. Do we see, again, if this is a real thing, do we see her come back, or do we see her just say, peace out, I'm in Star Wars, I'm in everything, I don't need this? Because there is a clip, and I'm sorry to cut you off. There is a clip for those who have not seen it. And I love it. It was speaking of Stone Cold. It was with Stone Cold and his fantastic show. And she sits there and she was like, look, yo, I'm tired of pizza. I don't eat pizza like the rest of you peasants.
I'm done being
I
thankful,
eat
just
steak.
thankful to be here. Just
Actually, no, I love that. I am not
love
just
that.
thankful to be here. I am out here. I am the biggest boss. And I love that she has that energy about her. And I'm happy. And if it is the case that they were being disrespected, you know what? Salute to y'all. And I hope y'all get everything you want. And I love the fact that I am seeing other individuals from other organizations, from their own organizations, standing up and saying, yeah, salute to them. I saw
One
my
time for
boy,
CM Punk. One
I see
time.
my second favorite wrestler in the world right now, Swerve Strickland, went out there and I saw
Swerve.
him put his Swerve did his thing out there. I fucks with it all. I do. But
It's good energy to
please,
have.
yeah,
Like, here's the
it is
thing.
good
It's that one,
energy to have.
it's that whole, knowing your worth thing. And that
Yes,
and like on a
1000%.
on an outside kind of perspective, like that was one of the reasons why
Eating steak and
AEW coming.
veggies. Steak and veggies.
I
You
just
know what
feel
I'm
like
saying?
it's one of the flyest things about having a second
Yes,
big
he did.
company. Yes, he did. Punk and
Chi-town.
Swerve.
That's
It
how
was
we get
like
down in Chicago,
all
though. You know
day,
what I'm saying?
the
Chi-town
realest
all
ones.
day.
The
What's
realest
up?
ones, of
The
course.
realest. Come on now.
Like it was one of the cool things about having AEW come into the fold and be such a good competitor for WWE, right? We know
Mhm,
the margin is wide and whatever, but
mhm.
the fact that it is kind of came in and immediately became number two, right? We're still working on Impact, right? But
Yeah,
immediately coming in as a number two for folks in North America, right? It didn't just give us fans another alternative. It gave
right.
talent, like the talent don't just have to take what's given to them anymore,
It is a
especially the
very
top
pro
weights.
sports mentality. It is,
Exactly.
and again, Nick Khan, he did bring a more pro sports kind of regimen out there, but this feels like that. Look, you're not paying me my worth. I'm gonna take this walk.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's so fly to like, it's so dope to see wrestlers who may not have thought that that was going to be an option for them in their careers, kind of see that now is an option in their careers. Like, I'm geeked to see, I hope Cesaro, Claudio, whatever he's going to be called, I can't wait to see him show up wherever he's going to show up whenever he shows up somewhere. Can't wait for that.
Right.
I'm just using that as an
Love it.
example. And like, so when
Yeah.
we talk about people like, we think that Sasha's probably going to go ahead and hit the rock route for a moment. She'll come back to wrestling if she does that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
personally think she'll do she'll get some Disney checks, do that, get the Star Wars money for a hot minute, and she'll
Right.
come back to wrestling. But she'll have a choice of where she wants to come back to, and like that's the littest part to me. Naomi, again, whatever Naomi decides to do, she doesn't have to. She has more than one option, and she's gonna be fly anywhere she goes. That's the part that I think, I don't want to say anybody forgets. We all know this. That's why we're talking about it the way we're talking about it. It's
Mhm,
just that,
mhm.
I don't think that WWE's upper management realizes the level of
They can't.
freedom that I think that their talent, kind of has now. They think that they're still the only place anyone wants to be. And
Right.
and I
Right.
think that
Free
attitude is kind
agency
of
is a real thing
changing.
now.
Exactly. It's
Right.
kind of changing. And so to me, like I said, we were talking about the statement that WWE put out. And if you want me to, I can read it
Please,
later.
please.
But I think that's the
No, go
biggest
right ahead. Yeah.
one of the biggest
It
problems with this is that they could have kept this in-house. They could have kept they could have said on air, Naomi and Sasha left the arena. Pick a storyline reason, any storyline reason. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
absolutely.
And left it at that. But
Yep.
they put out they put out a statement or whatever. And like that to me, the irony of calling these two women unprofessional, that was very ironic to me.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
WWE
again,
statement,
especially because they haven't done this in this way before, which was
exactly,
very interesting why they chose this moment in time to do that with these two
with these
specific
two specific
individuals.
individuals, exactly.
Yeah.
WWE statement, it says as follows: during the broadcast, they walked into the WWE head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis' office, with their suitcases in hand, placed their tag team championship belts on his desk, and walked out. They claimed they weren't
Gangsters
respected
fuck.
enough as tag team champions, and even though they had 8 hours to rehearse and construct their match, they claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they had matches with those individuals in the past with no consequence.
Over here
Monday
dry
night
snitching, they bogus.
Monday Night Raw is a scripted live TV show whose characters are expected to perform the requirements of their contract. We regret we were unable to deliver and advertise tonight's main event. So what's really ironic about that is two things. Number one, the fact that the statement even came out. That's just one. Two, in the statement, you're going to sit there and say that Monday Night Raw is a scripted show. First of all,
Which is
we know
interesting.
that,
Yeah, we
but you
know
never
that.
say that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Three, this whole they had 8 hours to construct this match, and then they tried to claim that they were uncomfortable with the other with two of the other people involved in the match. To me,
Right.
that's a hot mess. Because even
Yeah.
if it's true, even if that is true, how
Why
unprofessional
would you
of
put
you,
that out there?
WWE, to put that out. I don't believe that's true, but if it was, why would you put that out? And so again, I talk about the irony of calling these two women unprofessional, yet this
Yep.
very multi-million-dollar company puts this very unprofessional statement out.
Oh, it
That's
was awful.
insane to me. That's insane to me.
It's crazy. The fact that they just felt so comfortable in doing it and just essentially throwing two of their talent under the bus. And again, they also understand, and the same thing that I look at people like, for instance, like in the UFC, Dana White, they do this as well. You know your fan base. You
Right.
know the people that are out there and what's going to happen to them on social media if you go out there and put this out there. That's the
Absolutely.
issue that I truly have with it. And that's the issue that I have with individuals like Corey Grace even delivering that line, because you need to be able to understand what's going to happen once you go out there and do that. So that has been like one of the, for me, like it's all been nasty. You know what I'm saying? It's been super nasty watching it. And also, I think it's super, especially at this point in time, it's gotten to the point that I think all of us kind of understand, even though we're hoping, we're praying, we're wishing, we're it's a work. I think we all understand that it is what it is, what it is, right? Okay.
Right.
Let me ask you this: can this be salvaged? And if
I think
so,
so.
how can that be done? What would needs to happen?
See, this is the crazy world of professional wrestling, Serge. When we talked about this, when we first started the Royal Rundown, and I would tell you all the time, anything can happen in this crazy business. This crazy ass
Yeah,
business, this crazy
absolutely. Oh, by the
world
way,
is
they speaking
insane.
of everything happening. You hear Madcap Moss getting rebranded? About time. I'm tired of them goddamn suspenders. Get them shits
Actually,
out of here.
and low key, if they do it right, it might be kind of fly because he's
What, the
kind of over.
suspenders?
No, I'm talking about Madcap Moss being rebranded
Oh,
into
no, you
something
rebrand him into something cool,
dope,
minus suspenders.
something dope.
He is going to be a star. Okay. I am here for Madcap Moss, but the suspenders is weak. But I'm sorry,
That
continue.
is comedy. Yes, the short answer to your question is yes, it can be salvageable. This is the world of professional wrestling. You have creative. You are literally allowed to write whatever you want, right? I want to say it can be salvaged, but didn't Sasha just go through this after WrestleMania? So it can be all good for a little bit, but then yeah, Joe. So I feel this, but see, even that WrestleMania thing that happened a few years ago with her and Bailey and these lovely cursed women's tag team champions at this point, championships, is like even that was misreported.
We're going to forgive you this time.
Like nuts. Serge gonna forgive you. Anyway, no. Like even that was misrepresented, right? They made it seem like Sasha and Bailey were just laying on the ground crying and upset about losing the titles to the Iconics, right? And that
Right.
didn't
Right.
even happen. Our girl Sasha was just drained and needed a break. Like this
Well,
wasn't.
it's wild that you also see, even you speaking of drained and needing a break. I mean, Naomi a couple of days ago posted how she feels as if she's just like, you know what I'm saying, getting dragged, and
Yeah,
tagged all the women in the WWE, and the bulk of them responded back and said, yeah, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And you see on the other side, Sasha has unfollowed everybody, including Vince McMahon and the WWE. And that in itself, for somebody who's like, I love Vince McMahon, I love Vince McMahon, for her to do that, I started looking. I had them, them two eyeballs. Look
We are
what was
still
going
like,
on.
I pray this is the most elaborate work in
I,
WWE history.
come
Like I
on,
pray
come
because if it is,
on.
it's genius and it's got us and it's gotten the timeline in a frenzy and it's really, really crazy, but it's also just brought out some real ugliness. It's
It
brought out
has.
so much ugliness. And that's the part about like, to
Daggone
me, this
right.
statement is so unprofessional. It has this This got to be at work, right? Because you
Has to
wouldn't
be.
put you're gonna put these ladies, women out to just get slaughtered by the crazies who are just looking for a reason to talk about these two women for every reason you could possibly think of, and like that is just not. It's not cool to me, and
It's not.
it again irony of them calling Sasha and Naomi unprofessional. This is just extremely ironic to me.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it was rough. Um, Look, I think we belabored the point already. I think we both we are on the side of the talent as always. I hope that this gets
Always.
rectified. I hope that this is a work. And honestly, real quick, what I would like to happen, obviously, perfect timing now. On speaking of Corey Graves, that his show with the Usos on, they already confirmed that Naomi's been asking to be a part of the bloodline. Paul Heyman says, I think it should be a good idea. So if Paul Heyman says he thinks it's a good idea, and they're already talking about it and talking about it openly, that is the easiest of transitions. Just
This is
push
so
her over there.
they could really work this where again, and this could be some, work shootness going on, but it would be really cool if they work this where Naomi blames Sasha for the walkout and Sasha blames Naomi for the walkout. And that's how they break up. And that's how we get Naomi into the bloodline. Sasha can go off and do whatever she's going to do with, a program with somebody, anybody, honestly.
And
And
then
that
she
would be
comes
really
back
fly.
like Hollywood Hogan. Let's go. Let's go.
And that's all I have.
Come
That's all we
on.
have. I mean, they can salvage. There's a lot of different ways they can salvage
And
this.
then when Biggie comes back, you strap a rocket to his back and you give his ass
Just
the title too.
one time we gotta talk about Biggie, just
Man,
because
always got to
always
talk about Biggie. We see you, Biggie, brother. Much
all
love.
day,
Heal up, my guy. I don't know
always.
you, but I feel like I do.
Same,
You know what I'm
same.
saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it's all nuts. But anything else you want to say about this topic specifically?
Just respect Black women, please. Like, just stop it. When
Come
we're
on, say it
when we're
again for the
telling
ones in
you
the back.
something smells funny, just trust us on it. When we're telling you something's a little icky and it's got a little extra on it, listen to us. We know what we're talking about. We live this life in this skin all day long. No one is overreacting. We know what this feels like. See, we have all experienced a version of this in our regular lives, and that coded language of unprofessional and bad attitude and et cetera, is very specific to us. That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, what she said. And that's a fact, Jack.
Yeah. You better hype man, sir. That's right. That's right.
Yes, I couldn't say it, but we'll put a bow on it with that because obviously I couldn't have said better myself. Shit, I couldn't have. I'm not a woman. I'm not a black, so that it wouldn't have worked. It was for you to say. So I appreciate it and thank you very much for obviously voicing your point on that. And that's why it is so important for especially some people like yourself to be in this space. So I absolutely appreciate you being here and absolutely appreciate you for helping me get myself back into wrestling. So thank you for that.
Always, I got you.
All right, so let's get into this. Speaking of
Yo,
the greats, what happened? What I do? What I
Raw
do?
was actually half decent last night. Other than that, like there was so much craziness.
Yo, okay,
Raw
so
was
here,
decent
real
again
real
last
quick,
night.
we'll talk about let's talk about Raw for a hot second, okay? Because aside from that, yo,
It was
they
half
put their
decent.
foot in the rest of it. The rest of it was fantastic. Seeing Kevin Owens come out there wearing the Sami Zayn Forever shirt. Come on, tell me
You know,
that
the,
I popped
them
for that by
BFFs.
myself.
Them
You know what I'm
BFFs. They
saying? I
just the
love
cutest
that.
little bromance. Love
I
that.
love it. I loved every second of that. If not only that, what else? What else happened? Yo, Riddle and
And
Jay put
Jimmy.
on I should say Jimmy put on a fantastic match. Which are we surprised? No,
No.
no, we're not surprised. But We see what you're doing, and we all know who is going to be the unified champions this weekend on SmackDown. It is the one, the only, the one.
Okay, so wait, I have a
Come
question.
on.
Is
Yes.
that unification match actually happening on SmackDown?
A Riddle's going to get fucked up in some capacity on Friday. That's all I know. Okay, you going to go ahead and put knees on the tribal chief? How dare you? How dare you? He is going to go out there and get absolutely pummeled. But I think I do think that this is when they give the Usos the belt. I think the Usos and I think they're gonna have a crazy reign of terror be with the bloodline and it was because especially with this new schedule, and we can talk about him in a moment. We're gonna transition talk about him in a moment. But with what's happening with Roman Reigns right now, I think they going. I think you know what we're gonna say fantasy book, and we're gonna talk about
Okay,
that in a
okay,
second.
okay. Okay.
But the rest of it, I'll tell you what I didn't like.
Mm.
Almost Bobby and Bobby Lashley. Okay, that match was just complete doo doo. Okay, son, like that was like I'm tired of it. Like Cedric Alexander jumping up and down in there. First of
So
all,
sad.
y'all need to
So
put
sad.
more respect on Cedric's name. He is
My
a far better commodity than
talk
you got.
about
Anybody,
underutilized. My
anybody
goodness.
that wears gear that fantastic needs to be utilized far, far better. Okay, so let's go ahead and put some respect on Cez's name. He is not just some random henchman. But you know what, brother? Go ahead and get that bag. I ain't mad at you. That's what you got to do. Go out there and get pummeled every week if that's what it takes.
Dang.
But what else? What else? Um,
Okay, so I kind of
yes.
dug the Bobby Omos match. I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it. It didn't drag too
Was
long. It didn't
that
linger.
you
It
know
didn't
what
linger.
lingered? You know what dragged and lingered when he got thrown through the cage and then just sat there for the next 5 minutes looking around like he was shocked. And then almost, if this is, you know what it is, you know the rule said, get your big ass out the cage. Then at least make me believe it. Come
I
on.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done like that. Could have moved a little like that moment could have moved a little faster. But I mean, the match itself didn't overstay its welcome. And again, unfortunately, we're gonna get it again. But that part. Honestly, I know we passed to talk, but I'm really mad none of the women spoke out. Ma'am, Katie, talk about it because
I was actually kind of shocked. I thought
I was
somebody was going to say something.
I wasn't.
Man, they out there like they
We
like
live
we
this
trying to
life.
protect we trying to protect this bag. They're like,
Like I
what
said, we live
happened?
this life. We live this
The
life, and
only
allies are few and far between when it comes to us. Always.
part of me wishes Bianca said something, but I understand, and even internally because all three of them are so tight, they might have just been like, "Yo,
They had that
sit
moment
this one
together.
out." Yes,
Absolutely.
don't say it. So I'm assuming that happened because I know their relationship, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was something kind of ill. I peeped that myself, but my boy Swerve and CM Punk stood up for it. I appreciate that shit.
You're like,
All right.
like we needed more reasons to love them too.
You know what I'm saying? Uh, okay, let's talk about it. Let's get it.
Okay.
Anything else about it, Raw that we want to
That's it.
discuss? That was
I
it,
guess
right?
that was it.
Did
That
it
was
did
it
it
for
set up
me.
anything else? Oh, what'd you think
I mean,
about Cody? What'd you think about Cody and Seth?
Cody in his cranberry suit last night was
I'll see
dope.
you in hell.
Seth and Cody gonna put on another lovely classic in the cell. It's gonna be dope. Like that, it really is just one of those things. Like just get us to the match because it's gonna be fly. We already know. I will say this. Anybody who tried to say that Cody was gonna come back to WWE and just be like Stardust again, or not be a big deal. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're eating their words. That man is on the cover of the posters for elimination or for the Hell in a Cell. He's got a big major match with Seth Rollins. First of all, the fact that we are gonna get that's a third match with them and ain't nobody upset.
Trilogy.
We're like, right, that's fine. Run it again.
Run it
That's
back.
cool.
Run it back. I love that we're getting
Yeah.
this type of and again, honestly, yo, between that, I'm even digging the Ezekiel storyline with Kevin Owens right now. Like,
That's because Kevin
who
Owens
would have?
gets everything over. That man is
Yo,
the
he's
G.
so good. He's
He's
so
so good.
good. He's making this fake Ultimate Warrior make. I'm liking this dude. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it once, and I'm say it again, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Protect the backwoods. Okay, I'm tired of seeing everybody use the surprise roll up. Protect the backwoods. We know
Back
what
to
it
back.
is. Come
That's
on.
that's King Xavier's move, y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop
Salute to the
using it all the
king.
time.
Come
Dang,
on. Y'all killing me, man. I hate
killing
that.
us.
Every time I see it, I'm just like, it's not even fun to me anymore. There has to be a limit on how many surprise roll-ups we can use from an episode to
Well,
episode basis. And literally every win,
yeah.
every single win on Raw was a surprise roll-up. I had to, even in Backlash, I had to look at Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes' booty in the middle of that because of 2 damn back-to-back surprise roll-ups. This is bullshit. What is
You are
this?
Yeah, it's too much, and bad. I mean, that's bad
Protect the
booking. You know,
backwoods.
protect the backwoods. I can't even say it without laughing.
Damn.
Protect the backwoods. Mm-hmm.
Damn straight.
Serge, what you got in them notes? What's next?
All right, moving right along. Speaking of the one,
Oh,
our tribal chief Roman Reigns has
yes.
been going around, and it seems like he's not going to be here very long. He went to a small town recently in New Jersey and said, "Hey guys, it's been real, but y'all are never going to see me again. I only do big shows now." And people are concerned. People are looking at it and saying, "Yo, is this the end of the tribal chief?" So let me ask you this: in your opinion, what's going on with Roman? And do we believe the rumors that he is going to be gone? Because they're saying that Roman Reigns, he disappeared from the posters for Hell in a Cell. He's not in there anymore. You got Cody in the front. You have all these other things happening. They say he's going to be gone for 2 months. What do you think?
Roman's been champion for 7,682 days.
Yo, he has been an active champion.
For 7,682 days. Okay. If that man wants to take 6 weeks off, 8 weeks off to go kick it with the family and chill and heal up some injuries we don't know nothing about or whatever, let that man do that. That man
Yep.
can cut promos he could do videos, whatever. Like we're gonna miss him, but we're not gonna miss him because he's always going to have a presence. The Usos are going to be there. You know what I mean?
True.
They're always talking
True.
about him. And if he just shows up once a week on SmackDown, that's even fine. You know what I mean? Like he
Absolutely.
only, if you think about it, he only wrestles at the pay-per-views at this point. He might get in a little tussle here and there on a TV right before,
Well,
in the
he has been doing some of the and
house
we've been
shows.
noticing
Yeah.
he does a lot of house shows, and the fact that you have your biggest star running around doing house shows,
Yes.
you flying across the pond doing shows, coming back, he's headlining both, and like we said, ever since the pandemic, I mean, when he came back, it's been a solid 2 years, and 2 years is some
Man's hasn't
change
stopped.
where he
Yeah.
has. I mean, they have literally run pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. And I want you to cook on this a little bit because I know you can. I know what you're gonna do with it. I'm gonna throw you the oop, and you gonna go ahead and just LeBron James that shit. But what I want to ask you is this: how should they handle this with Roman?
Mm.
Cody Rhodes is somebody who's gone out there and says, even for AEW, at one point in time, he was petitioning to even have an interim belt when certain people had to go out to make it even feel more like a pro sport. You have that option. You also have my preferred option is Roman pulls super heel and says, "These are my belts. I'm going on vacation. Deuces." And that's what I want to see him happen. But what do you believe? Because that would be my choice. But you know me, I love heels. So I would do the most heelish shit possible. These are my belts. Y'all suck. I'm gone. In fact, and the Usos are going to be gone for one of the months too, because we all need to go to Barbados together or wherever the hell they go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. They going to go to Santorini and kick it with all the little white houses at the top of the high white and blue houses. That's what they're going to do, because that is exactly what the tribal chief would absolutely do. He deserves a vacation in Santorini, sitting here looking at the Mediterranean Sea, listening to
You
Rick
better
Ross.
acknowledge your tribal chief, okay?
Damn
You are
straight. That is
acknowledging this man.
exactly what he deserves. That is what the tribal chief and the Usos and the bloodline all deserve.
Amazing. What do I think? Okay, this is how you handle it to me. I think that I agree with you. I think Roman takes 2 months off. We don't see him till SummerSlam. Bye.
Okay.
Like,
Right.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think we might catch him on a video promo maybe once or twice in the middle of that, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I don't think that's an issue because it makes, we're already, I don't want to say we're getting into the law of diminishing returns right now when it comes to him, but give us a chance to miss him. And I think this is a perfect time
Perfect
for us to
time.
be able to miss him. Let the
Absolutely.
Usos unify those lovely tag titles and let them run the shop. Like let them run it. Randy and Riddle or RK Bro are so over right now.
So over. It's
They
ridiculous.
can really like have this unification tag thing be a big main event type of situation. And that can
Right.
run the summer until Roman comes back. It's already kind of running the shows right now if we really look at it. And then like while we're
Absolutely.
doing that, we're quietly, not so quietly, really, not so quietly building Cody as the main star. Where,
Okay. Well, I'm glad you
and
asked that. I'm glad you asked that because it brings me to my next question for you. Because if Roman is gone, and if all things are pointing to, and it's so funny because I really feel like RO might have just let the cat out the bag when he's like, look guys, I'm gonna be here forever. I don't have the Rock blueprint waiting for me out here like some people do. So I think even Randy went out there and was like, yo dog, he ain't gonna be here, but at least I am. Like I got
right.
y'all, you know what I'm saying? So he it all points to signs of Roman taking off. If you have your choice, who are the top 5 people that could hold that mantle as the face of the WWE?
I don't think there's 5. That's the problem. That's a problem, but
If we
I
have,
got you.
let's do
I
3
can do.
with a couple floaters that can do
I got
places,
you.
maybe do some stuff. Or you know what? Give me 2 up and comers that maybe in the next couple years can catch fire and take that spot.
Well, I'm gonna kind of answer. I'm gonna do both of those things. I think Cody is an obvious choice. You know, Cody can do this. Cody is very much a face of the WWE. He's got the stamina for it. He's got the look. He understands the assignment on top of that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really, really important. He also has that whole legacy thing that WWE loves. They love a good legacy situation. That's why Roman they've worked so long to get Roman where he is right now. So I think that Cody already fits that bill. I think Seth Rollins will get another chance at it too. They've tried it with him. And it's been like, up and down. If some parts were great, parts weren't. This version of heel Seth is really, really great. And I think it's already getting to a point where he's getting cheered. Yes, Doug, that would be so fly. I would love that. So I'm gonna throw Seth in there. I also think that I love Randy Orton, but I don't see him as a face of WWE at the moment. I think he would be a person that would put the face of WWE over. Also, you know what? Look, we're talking about men. We're throwing all these men,
I was actually going to ask you next.
because
I
we're
was going to
using
say, yeah.
Roman Reigns as the example. But let's be clear: if they really wanted to, Bianca Belair is the face of WWE.
If they wanted to, if
Like
they want to, but I was
just
more so
place
talking
her
about like
there.
who's gonna be holding those titles, the big
Right.
titles.
And I totally get that. I think
Mhm.
that again, this is like one of those running themes I think we touch on at least once in every show. So many titles in WWE.
Not
Unify
with
those
Vince
lovely
there.
seriously. But there's too many titles there. I mean, like to me, what a wonderful SummerSlam main event, Ronda versus Bianca unification match.
Absolutely.
And have like this could be the year of the unifications if we're gonna we've already
It'd be sick.
unified.
It'd be
That would be
sick.
so fly.
It'd be so
They
sick.
can look back and have 2022 be the year of unifications, right?
Yeah,
And
and
so
they can streamline it because at the end of the day, do we really have a brand split anymore?
no.
You
No,
know what
the
I'm
last time
saying?
we had a true brand split was, John Cena was still rapping. That was about the last time it was a
Dog,
true,
yo, for real, you
brand
don't
split.
see it. Okay, so I'll say this in terms of who obviously I think it can take like I say my top 5, and
Mhm.
again I'll say more like 3 with a couple honorable mentions, and I'll put some young people in there that I think maybe
Yeah.
the next 5 to 10 years could really do something. And guess what? Theory. is not one of them. Um, I'm
Rude.
sorry, he's not. He's not. He's not. I'm sorry, he's not. He's just not that guy. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. Let him go wherever the hell Drew McIntyre went for a couple years and let him
Ah,
come back with
dang.
a skirt and a beard, and maybe we'll like him too. I don't know. By the way, I don't think Drew's that
Damn.
guy either. So
He's not. And I really kind of wanted him to be. Like, I was rooting for
he's not
him.
that guy.
I was
Drew
rooting
is
for
so
him.
not that guy.
But they gave him this super bland baby face thing and
Nope.
they didn't give him any meat. You know what I mean? Like
He ain't nothing. Only
they didn't give
got
him any
plenty of meat
meat
all up in there, but
and
he ain't got no substance. Like I don't.
substance, right? And I was rooting
No.
for Drew because I love the comeback. I love that. I love a good comeback story. I love a
Mm-mm.
whole redemption story. I love that. And Drew had that. Um,
That's
and
just weak.
the crowd still digs him, but I just feel like I'm not excited when I see him. Oh,
So
Joel.
I'll
Joel
say.
mentions Braun
Uh,
Breaker.
okay, so look, I'm gonna say I'll say this. Obviously, the best option, number one option today is Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes should be the one that ends up defeating Roman. I think he should be the one to dethrone Roman. I'm here again. I'm shitting on Drew because people are saying Drew should be that guy. I just don't see it. I don't think he should. I don't even think he should go into that Cardiff show with a belt. No, let him keep doing what he's doing now. Make it close. Make it seem like he can actually be a threat because whenever Roman leaves, then we can say, hey, this guy was really, really close, guys. And that's somebody you can continue doing when Roman leaves. But I would say after Cody, number two for
Katie, so
me.
what? You got me. You
No,
got me.
no,
Sorry,
no,
Katie.
no what did you say?
Katie, you don't know me, girl.
So look, I'll say this. Speaking of Big E, my number two position is Big E. I think that the moment Big E comes back, Big E is the most over guy. Y'all thought Cody coming back was a big deal. Y'all don't let the cat out the bag. Let my man heal up, and then out of nowhere, next year in SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Big E comes out doing this thing again. When Big E comes back, hopefully he's healthy. You strap a rocket ship to my man's back, and you let him do his thing. My third
Let him
person
go.
is my guy, my ganja brethren. You know what I'm saying? My MMA, you know what I'm saying? My partner for, you know what I'm saying? My guy,
My Mr.
Riddle.
Flip Flops.
Mr.
Okay.
Flip Flops. Yo, Riddle is so good. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, he is the other guy that I think that they can absolutely. And here's the thing, and I know I say this all the time, he's a fantastic face. It's fine. Riddle can be his same energy and be an amazing heel. And I
I gotta
cannot
see that.
wait. I
I
cannot
gotta see that to
wait.
believe
Yo,
that.
he's gonna be pompous and he's gonna be arrogant and he's going to just be super bro and it is going to be it's just gonna be the same dude he is. He's just gonna be turned up. But I could see him doing that, and he's being groomed by the heel of
He is.
heels. He's
He
being
okay.
groomed by Randy. And by the
Okay.
time it comes, you're going to see him, and you see it. He has it. So Riddle is my guy. So I'd say those are like my three that I'd
Yeah.
say like they can strap a rocket ship to. Up and coming, I go with Carmelo Hayes. I think Carmelo Hayes put some
That's a
respect
good
on that
shout.
dude's name.
That's a
I
good
think
shout.
Carmelo Hayes can be that guy. He can be your Shawn Michaels if you give him the opportunity. He's already one of his kids. Just let him go
Yeah.
out there and cook. He has it. I think Carmelo Hayes can be that guy. That's my other one. And who else did I have? If I had to make like the fifth one, I'm gonna try to throw another up and coming dude out there. I'm gonna say Solo. I'm gonna say Solo because I'm staying consistent with the bloodline, and I think that they're going to need somebody else to continue with that mantle. And from everything that I understand, first of all, he looks like he's ready now. From what I
Mm.
understand, he wants to be there. He wants to already. He's another one that keeps saying that, "Hey, can I come in?" And Paul said, "Soon." So they're already they've talked about expanding the bloodline. So you already know in a couple of years, then he'll be the guy. So that would be like my fifth guy just because of lineage. And that family's lineage is always going to be up near or around the top of
Yeah.
the WWE. That's what I think. Those are my 5.
It's a good 5. That Mello shout is a good shout. Mello is so him, and even and
I shoot, I don't miss.
I gotta give Santos Escobar a little shout too, because
Oh my god. Oh
man,
yes. Come on.
my only two, like, the reason why I'm not like, yes, this could totally happen is because we're talking about the WWE.
Yo, he would be the absolute man in
But
AEW
like,
though.
man,
Yo, you put him because you know what? You put him in AEW. He's better than Charlotte's dude. What's his name? My guy.
oh,
Andrade.
Andrade El
Andrade.
Idolo.
He's better than Andrade because he has a better mouthpiece. He can talk the game in his style. He has a great style. He has a great look.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude can be he can be this generation's. I mean, look, just because he's Mexican, he got the swag, and you can tell he was influenced by him. Eddie. I am not saying he's Eddie. I'm saying he, you know what I'm saying? Y'all feel me.
The
Y'all
influence
feel
is loud. Yes,
influence is
absolutely.
very, very
It's
loud.
very loud. And
He's
as it should
definitely one of
be.
those dudes that I mean, he gets up on the top rope and he gets to shaking and shit. And you just be like, okay, we see you, brother. We understand. You're
Yeah.
Mexican. I'm proud of you. Do your thing.
So
Like, this is
stupid.
beautiful to watch. Don't get it twisted. If I was a pro wrestler, I'd be doing that. I'd be all
you
into it.
would.
Oh, I
It's so
would be.
extra.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
extra.
And I'd be
No,
super kicking fools left and right.
all day. All
That
day.
would be my
That's a
shit.
good shout though. That's a really good shout. I mean, I really like, I just want them to let Mello and Trick be Mello and Trick when they get up to the main
I
roster,
do
and like,
too.
just don't do anything
Yeah.
to it. Let it be what it is
I
right
just want
now,
to absolutely.
and just bring it on up to SmackDown specifically, because I think SmackDown would be the best place for them. But who knows? Yeah, y'all are telling me Riddle can be this heel, and like, I'm not believing you.
Dana
I
White
just can't
hated his
see it
guts.
yet, and
Riddle
I want to
hated.
see it.
Randy hated his guts before he got to know
Yeah, yeah, I hear
him.
you.
And it said is because he has that,
You
like,
said-
he's just that dude, and
yeah, that
that's
whole
what Randy
nonchalant
said.
kind
Yeah.
of. I feel that. I can see that. I can see
Oh,
that. Oh,
oh,
why do we gotta
oh,
bring this up?
come on, Joey, brother. That's not right, Joey. You ain't supposed to do us like that.
Hero.
One
The
time for
pain.
one time. One
One
time for
time for
y'all.
Hero.
My boy Top Dollar. Oh,
Man, none, nada. Dang, that hurts.
damn.
Anyway, all
Hurts.
right.
All right.
We're okay.
But okay, really quick, let's run down a couple more things. But honestly, with Roman, hey, appreciate him all you can. If you can go
Right.
to a house show now or see him somewhere, enjoy that, because obviously those are few and far between that's gonna
Yeah.
happen. So enjoy him while you can, because he on that Brock Lesnar resume now, or schedule now. He on that Brock
It's about
schedule.
to happen.
He's on
Yeah.
those.
I don't think it's gonna happen as soon as it's being
But it's
reported per
coming.
se,
But it's
but it's on
coming.
the way.
Yeah.
And all I know is it better not happen until after we get my Rock versus Roman at Mania next year. I need that.
Don't y'all play with me. Don't y'all play with my
Because
emotions.
if
I
they
need
play
that
with
shit.
us,
Oh, I
that's all we
need
want.
that.
That's all we
So
want.
okay, so
Okay.
let's talk about this then. So we all know Roman's going to be. I just want to mention these really quick because I watch AEW from time to time, and
Watch the MVP.
I frequent AEW, and I'll end up watching that, and they have a handful of people that I really enjoy. Obviously,
Like
you have Swerve. Obviously, you have, as we call them, the new outsiders in Swerve and Keith Lee. I love them. We have them. But you know what? On the other side, you have Team Taz, and you know what? Pretty boy Ricky Stark.
Pretty Ricky, what they call
That's
him.
my guy.
That's my guy.
Yeah, come on. Skinny DJ out here doing his thing. So you got him out there, and obviously Powerhouse Hobbs, and then you have, which I'm so surprised that I'm a fan of, and it's the Jungle, whatever the hell, Jungle Crew,
Jungle
Jungle
Boy,
Boys. Yeah,
Jurassic
yeah.
Express and
The
them.
Jurassic.
And
Hey,
them.
look, Jungle Boy and Big Dot T-Rex, man, they are
Luchasaurus.
wildly entertaining,
They
and
are.
they seem as if they are all heading to a fantastic triple threat, which I think is amazing. Do we have any thoughts on that? Do we think that the new outsiders, as we call them, are going to get that tag team belt? I think we are due for giving our guys some kind of belt. I think we are being recognized as come on, give us something.
I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't want to get my hopes up. But like, let's go ahead and just get our hopes up. Put the tag belts on Swerve and Keith.
Absolutely. Real quick. Yo, we're gonna be
Yes.
talking about this for the next 2 years until he out of his contract.
Do you
That
understand me?
man, yo, he gonna be teasing it every week too. He
And
is
you know
gonna be
what's
out there.
crazy? You know what's crazy is Cody is the one who brought MJF to AEW.
Yes, I do. Yep, and he gonna
So
bring his
it's
ass to
like
WWE. Oh,
if
I
Tony
just
don't
want a
show him the
faction with.
money, if Tony don't show him the money, we gonna lose MJ. Like it's gonna like that could happen. Tony gonna have to come off the bread, and is he gonna do it? Is he gonna? He should if he was
Maybe.
smart. If he was smart, he would.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I just realized I'm over here reading comments now. Y'all are hilarious.
Aren't they stupid?
Come on,
Yes.
son.
Katie,
I
girl, tell the truth.
y'all hilarious, man.
Tell the truth, Katie. Katie ain't telling a lie.
Um, so let me see. Where we looking? I did want to get your thoughts on this.
Mhm.
Obviously we could talk about CM Punk possibly and what would CM Punk look like as an AEW champion, which I think is something that's probably really dope, and I think it's something that's very probable and probably possible. That's gonna happen very soon. But you had something to say about this, and I wanted you to be able to speak your piece. Let's
Mm.
talk about the Owen Hart Invitational.
Yeah, I'm not, let's I just think this is really dope. I just really
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
this is a extremely dope thing that AEW is doing. Um, I think that Owen Hart's legacy being kind of, I want to be like, I want to say trusted with AEW, the way it is, and having, Owen Hart's family, trust them with that, I think that's really, really
Pretty dope.
um, and the fact that, his widow was in the audience, last week at
Yeah,
Dynamite,
she
I thought that
was.
was really, really, really cool
Yeah,
because, she's had a contentious relationship with the business for obvious and understandable reasons. You know what I mean? Again, ickiness, for lack
nasty.
of
It's
better
all
terms.
nasty.
And Serge, we're not gonna say nothing, but Hart spelled Hart. It's cool though. I just want to make sure
Don't put
everybody
me out there
knows
like
we know.
that when
It's because
nobody
we
when
want to.
nobody paid attention. That's how you
I
feel?
wanted to make sure that though they was gonna know, they were gonna know, and I wanted to let them know that and everybody know. No, but yeah, I just think that's really, really fly. And I think a tournament is so underutilized in what we see in television wrestling right now.
Yeah,
And a tournament
yeah,
is such a great way to A, introduce new stars, B, make new stars, and C, create new feuds and
yeah.
storylines and things of that nature. Like I really think that's really important, and it's something that I wish other companies would use more.
Yeah.
AEW has, does not have nearly as much television time as their competitor, right? But they have
No.
so much talent on the roster, and
And
they're struggling
they
to fit
all do
everybody on.
fantastic 3-minute matches that are the most entertaining couple seconds of your life, diving off of
Exactly.
stuff, all in and out of through the crowd, and they just run them in and out like a turnstile. You're just like, damn, okay, cool.
Right.
They
Right.
turnover is like Denny's at 2 in the
I just think
morning.
it's cool.
Crazy.
I just really think it's cool. And like, I don't know, we don't know how far these tournament is going, like the storylines in this tournament are going to take us. We don't really know what the future holds. I just think it's really cool to see new people. I mean, yeah, but it's a tournament. Tournaments are tournaments. How many different ways can you do a tournament? You can't, there's only one real way to do a tournament. So like, yeah, but I just think it's cool that it's named after Owen Hart. I think that it's
I
really
do as
fly that
well.
they have Owen Hart's foundation involved, the family's
Yeah.
foundation involved in it. And the fact
Super
that,
dope.
you know, I love again, I love a redemption type of story, and the
Awesome.
fact that, his widow is a part of this, and
Oh
the
yeah.
fact that they kind of trusting his legacy with AEW, I think is something that has to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really cool. I am really geeked that I love that there are two of them. I love that there's a men's and
Mhm.
a women's.
I do too. Yeah.
And I have to talk about just really, really briefly, um, the fact that, uh, and I always get them confused, Dax Harwood, the FTR dude,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
and Adam Cole's match
Oh,
in that tournament was really fun to watch.
Yo,
It's like watching these.
FTR's.
They just watching like babies. It's like Brett had a son that wrestled. That was him, and Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying? Had a son.
seriously.
It's like
Yo, that
watching the kids
FTR,
fight, and I love that.
it was so dope. That FTR joint match that they ended up having, that when they were
Yes,
against each other, was so dope because it was the exact same, almost to the exact move, the exact moment of Bret and Owen Hart in their
yes,
match
Brett Owen.
when
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
when Owen turned heel essentially the first time.
Mhm, mhm.
And if you go back and you put the fights and those matches next to each other, like it was the exact same thing, and it's so dope that they were able to do that.
And it's so
In that
dope to
moment, yeah,
show that,
so
like,
cool.
it's dope to show that, like, even though that match happened however many years ago, that that same stuff still works today.
Still
Like,
works.
if you
It
do it
still
properly
works.
and if you do it well,
Yeah,
doesn't matter if the crowd was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, or now, it's
facts.
still gonna get the crowd going, and
Right.
that is a really testament to, like, the art of this thing that stuff that we don't really talk about a lot. We always talk
Facts.
about some of the more flashy things, um,
But
but
I
this part
mean,
that
yo,
the technical
like
stuff is also is just as
the
dope.
technical stuff has always been dope. It come
Yeah.
on. We if we really look at it like speaking of the Hearts, I mean Bret Hart wasn't like this high flying dude everywhere doing this thing, but I mean Stone Cold wasn't this guy that these guys were just technical and grounded. Even like I said, we everyone loves The Rock's mouthpiece, but at the end of the day, The Rock could work. And you saw him doing his thing. I mean, these guys are so technically sound and solid. And when you see those guys like the Adam Coles going out there and doing their thing, when you see, you know, even CM Punk, some of the matches that he's been putting on at the beginning of Dynamite and stuff, not like I watch or anything like that, but at the beginning of Dynamite when he goes out here, and they're just incredible matches. But they're
Yeah.
technically sound, and it's so cool. And again, I do appreciate that AEW they do mix it up. You have the high flyer guys, and and you have the extremely technical. I mean, that Adam Cole match was just awesome. I mean, to
Fun.
be able to see that. And the
Yeah.
thing is, Adam Cole's one of those dudes that can take L after L after L, and it doesn't matter. He still does it. His music kicks on, and we
He's
all
the
yelling,
loudest cheered
Adam
heel.
Cole, baby. We're all out here
That
screaming,
man
dude. That shit
be
is sick. I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Owen Hart invitationals. I mean, I just think it's really, really fly. And I'm interested to see like the Jokers. There's some Jokers coming up. So we don't know who they are and all this
Absolutely.
good jamming. So that's gonna be fun to see, who's gonna pop up that we haven't seen in a while or whatever.
Mhm.
Also one time for Samoa Joe. Just good to see him back doing what
There we
Samoa Joe
go.
does. Just
Looking
doing Samoa
healthy,
Joe things.
doing some old Joey things over here,
Yes.
threatening to kill people in the most entertaining way possible.
Absolutely.
I rip your
Absolutely.
face off with your nose. Oh shit! Okay, Joe, we
Like,
see you.
sir.
Like, damn, that was crazy. Like, yeah, dude, I love what he does, man. Joe is something else, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, yo, like that. Okay. AEW got WWE on the music. Them entrance themes and stuff. I catch myself sitting out here. I don't even know what the hell Jericho be talking about, but I'll be out here singing with the rest of them white folks. I'll be out here getting it, okay? And then it's like
I
obviously
make
when
my dance
Keith Lee
students
come
warm
out,
up
all
to
them dudes,
Swerve. To
come
Swerve's interest music. They warm up to Swerve's interest music every week.
yo, that's just hard. That's why it's so fantastic. It really is one of the best things. But
Ooh, check
what I
Joel's
mean,
comment.
what he
Check
say?
Joel's
What he
comment right
talking
here.
trash? We out here. What you think of it? Saying pro? Wait. Man, Sasha. Oh my god.
Contractually, this would never happen, but if it did
Oh, if
though,
it did though. If it
ooh
did
wee.
though. Oh man,
Shenanigans. Bring
dude,
on the shenanigans. Let's
shenanigans, all
go.
of the shenanigans. Well, all right. About that, with that being said, I think that's about all the time we got today, people.
Man, we
This
ran
has
our mouths
been
today.
we did. Well, you know what I think is important, especially when we have to talk about, obviously as Ms. Drede said, protect, and respect Black women. Obviously, what's going on, and like I said, we praying that this is a
An
work, but it
elaborate.
feels like it's a nasty shoot. So I hope they go out there and get paid. Ms. Drede, anything else you want to go ahead and talk about? Any random topics in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment that you wanted to go ahead and sprinkle on before we get out of here?
I think I've sprinkled all the randomness onto this lovely show I possibly could today. Like I said, we ran our mouths today, but there's a lot going on. Okay, you know our
Oh,
show's gonna be longer when
really
stuff's
quick.
happening.
What's that one? What's the new soldier girl? What's her name that's coming out? The one that they debuted at Raw and she came out there talking that she was supposed to be a face and she heals fuck now. Like what's
Uh,
her name?
you talk about Lacey
What?
Evans.
She is terrible.
You know,
Boo. Boo. Yo, that whole gimmick and everything, like y'all can put
it's giving real
this is
bootstraps, isn't it?
oh
It's real
my god. This
bootstrapish.
is she would I like it, like what is that? Like I was literally I hit up Dre and I was like, yo, what is this? What am I watching?
And I
What
couldn't
am I
even answer
watching?
this man. I was like, I don't even
She
know, G.
she came back. Look. I don't know what I missed, and when she came back, but they were presenting her as this super face.
Yeah,
Look at
Serge.
me. They kicked my dog. Like everything in life sucks. Like oh my god, I was in the military. Nobody liked me. I had pimples growing
Well,
up. Like she had the whole gambit of stuff.
you know this is a
And,
comeback for her. Like that she didn't debut, she was coming back. She had a
man,
baby and
I am
now she's
more
coming back.
interested in Veer. Give
Yeah,
me Veer all day.
well. See, Katie, remember when she was pregnant with Ric Flair's child?
Excuse me?
So what had happened was Serge, what had happened was
You cannot pretend
that's
you are this all-American, you dig, when you even pretend got mounted by Ric Flair. I am not about that life.
she was
No,
in the midst
no.
she was in the midst of a feud with Charlotte Flair, and Ric Flair was on TV with them, and Rick turned heel on Charlotte and went with Lacey, and they were dating, and that is also when she found out she was pregnant and had to leave. So we kind of just, you know,
This
that time
really
it was a little
happened.
different.
This was a
That
thing.
that occurred.
What
And yeah.
was this in the PG era or something? One of those
No,
eras,
this
those
was
John Cena eras?
when
Is
was this?
this
Was this right before the pandemic, I
is
want
this
to say?
ruthless aggression? What is this?
No, this was like 2019. This was
Oh my
not that long
god, are
ago.
you serious? Ew. I cannot believe it. Well, even more reason. First of all, are we supposed to buy this? Are we there? I'm sorry. Look, I'm telling y'all, I was planning to shut the show down a second ago. I just thought of that. I don't
Man,
understand this person. Who is this person? Why am I supposed to like her? And her whole gimmick sucks. I'm over it. She
she was a
AEW.
dainty Southern belle before, so now
Oh,
it's
I
different.
definitely would have hated that one. Okay, never mind. All
Like
your gimmicks are just terrible for me. You
it was
can
all
keep that
bad.
shit. All bad. Like nope. Mm-mm.
It was all
I'm over
bad.
here. She over here like Sutton in the Real Housewives. I'm cool.
Mhm.
Nah, I ain't
Mhm.
going. I ain't going. And yes,
Yeah.
I watch Real Housewives. What's up? Only the Beverly
No.
Hills ones
And
because I
yes,
like the houses and shit. It's really nice to
no,
see
don't
the little
he trying
vacations
to
and whatnot.
change.
I
Don't let
like
him
that
change
shit.
subject. He needs to admit that he actually watches AEW. Let's just be clear. Cause
Look,
he
man, I
does
watch Beverly Hills Housewives. All right, man.
he
That other
watches
show, I ain't
AEW
going for
every
that.
Wednesday and Friday faithfully. Sometimes before I do. Don't get it twisted. I'm
Hey,
calling
look.
you out, Serge.
I mean, look, sometimes there's nothing on television
Oh,
and I
yeah,
just
I
happen to be home. And then, yeah, on Fridays, if I want, just something to watch as I just sit down for a second because it takes
oh,
that long for the
oh,
show
word.
is, I
Right,
mean,
right.
oh, it's the best thing. What are you talking about? I'm over here talking
Mhm.
trash. That show is fantastic. Dynamite,
Hilarious.
yo, that shit, what is it? Revolution
Rampage.
Rampage? It's a legitimate rampage. That shit is, ooh, I love that show. All right. We've talked too much. We done. Much love, y'all. If you
Always.
haven't already, like I said, make sure you check out the Scrap News for the absolute best journalism and media out there in all of combat sports. Absolutely fantastic writers, fantastic team. Check everything that they do out over there. Also check out the Fight Podcast. Check out also my new show with Cats and Gano. You see is
Who
this
you got?
Thursday. Who you got? The best fight pick show out there. So make sure you check that out. That will be this Thursday. You can check it on our YouTube page. And with that being said, you know how we get down. We got to always leave you guys with this one. We're out here doing our thing. We're doing it. And this is the same thing that we had to tell if we had the opportunity to speak to the fantastic, the GOAT, Sasha Banks. This is what I'll tell her.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. He's certified.
Peace.